For those of us who study the old ways, there's something deeply satisfying about, well, rediscovering techniques that outperform modern systems. Today, I want to walk you through a grain storage method so effective that archaeological samples still hold preserved kernels after centuries. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed to Warfield Chronicles so you don't miss any of these forgotten skills we bring back to life. Now, let's get straight into it. The method that survives centuries with zero machinery comes from sealed earthen pits used across ancient Africa, the Near East, and parts of Europe. These pits were dug below the frost line, lined carefully and oxygen-controlled in ways that modern steel silos fail to replicate. The principle is simple: stable temperatures, controlled oxygen, and a microenvironment that inhibits pests. Farmers thousands of years ago relied on this method not because it was primitive, but because it worked astonishingly well. The process begins with selecting dry, well-drained soil. A pit roughly 1 to 2 meters deep was dug with narrow openings and wide bellies to limit airflow. Walls were then compacted with clay, ash or lime to create a semi-sealed interior. Some cultures burned straw inside the pit first, coating the walls with carbon that inhibited moisture and insects. Once cooled, grain, typically millet, sorghum, barley or wheat, was poured in only when fully dried to prevent spoilage. The opening was sealed with clay and covered with soil until it was almost unnoticeable from the surface. The brilliance lies in how the microenvironment stabilizes itself. With minimal air inside, insects quickly suffocate. Temperature fluctuations are nearly eliminated because soil acts as a natural insulator. Moisture remains constant. Grain kept in such pits has been found intact decades later, and in some cases centuries later. This is far beyond what modern metal silos can achieve without chemical treatments or mechanical ventilation. This method is still highly practical today. A homesteader or survivalist could recreate an improved version with modern materials. A sealed underground chamber lined with clay or food-safe plaster works remarkably well for long-term sorghum, millet, maize or wheat storage. If you want to build one discreetly on rural land, dig below the frost line, line the walls with compacted clay mixed with ash, and allow it to dry thoroughly. Burn a small bundle of straw inside to carbon coat the walls, as ancient communities did. After cooling, pour grain that has been sun-dried or kiln-dried to ensure extremely low moisture content. Seal the top with a clay sand mix, place flat stones over it, then cover with soil. The entire chamber becomes a natural, long-lasting vault requiring no electricity, no steel, and no moving parts. In practical survival terms, this is a passive storage solution that can protect hundreds of kilos of grain even through crisis scenarios. It is also a historically accurate way to preserve seed stock without exposing it to rodents or thieves. Buried pit granaries are naturally hidden and almost impossible to detect without knowing exactly where to look. In dry climates, a well-built pit can keep grain edible for multiple decades. In cooler temperate regions, the lifespan can be even longer because of reduced microbial activity. If you're studying ancient agricultural strategies or planning resilient food systems, this is one skill worth mastering. Techniques like this remind us that the past didn't rely on guesswork. It relied on refined knowledge tested over generations. If you want more forgotten methods revived with this level of detail, make sure you subscribe to Warfield Chronicles and share this episode with someone who digs deep into history the way you do.